What's the weakest season of Attack on Titan, or My Hero Academia, or even Demon Slayer? From pacing disasters to hype-killing arcs, and even a perfect anime where I choose a season no one expected. My Hero Academia, Season 5. Season 5 felt like a complete detour. It slowed the pacing to a crawl, focused on side characters the story hadn't built up, and dragged through fights that had zero tension. The much hyped joint training arc underwhelmed, and even the villain arc, something that should have been a highlight, lacked urgency. Sure, we got Shigaraki's tragic backstory and some Endeavor growth, but even those were overshadowed by filler-feeling downtime. Compared to other seasons, Season 1 gave us a powerful origin, Season 2 and 3 gave career-defining fights like the Sports Festival and All Might vs. All for One. Season 4 had Eri rescue arc, and Season 6 and 7 brought real war and high stakes. But Season 5? It was the cooldown no one asked for. Tokyo Revengers Season 2. Tokyo Revengers starts as a gritty time travel gang drama. The story follows Takemichi, a down-on-his-luck guy who gets a chance to rewrite the future and save his ex-girlfriend by changing the course of Tokyo's gang wars. Season 1 was tight, emotional, and full of suspense with every timeline shift. But Season 2, the Christmas Showdown arc, fumbled hard. The plot had potential, but poor pacing dragged scenes out painfully. Entire episodes circled the same fight, and emotional stakes got lost in repetition. Characters switched sides with no real weight behind it. Takemichi's development stalled. He cried more than he grew. Honestly, he cried more than I did after Promised Neverland Season 2. Paired with a steep drop in animation quality, this season felt like a shadow of what made Season 1 exciting. Season 3 brought back some real energy, but Season 2 was a clear low point. ReZero Season 2. ReZero is a masterpiece, but Season 2 slammed on the brakes. Gone was the constant death loop chaos of Season 1. Part 1 of Season 2 shifted to a slow, introspective drama. Subaru's death no longer shocked. They no longer felt surprising. The pacing now asked for patience. It had brilliant emotional writing, sure, but compared to Season 1's mystery and momentum, and Season 3's return to high-stakes tension, Season 2 just couldn't keep up. It's the least thrilling chapter in an otherwise phenomenal story. Psychopath Season 2. Now let's dive into something more divisive. Season 1 of Psychopath was philosophical, haunting, and gripping. A futuristic detective thriller where your mental state is constantly scanned and judged by an AI system to see if you will become evil. It explored themes of justice, surveillance, and free will with chilling depth. But Season 2 missed the mark. A new writer replaced Gen Urobuchi, and it showed. The new villain lacked Makishima's depth. The plot rushed its ideas without giving them time to breathe. Complex themes were replaced with brute force twists. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't feel like Psychopath. It felt like a shallow sequel to something that was much smarter. Demon Slayer Season 3. Swordsmith Village Arc. Visually, it was a feast, though many people didn't like the CGI this season. But Demon Slayer Season 3 fell short where it mattered most: storytelling. The villains were forgettable, and the rinse and repeat of "oh no, they're still alive" lost its punch. At this point, cutting off a demon's head is more of a suggestion than a solution. The emotional core was weaker than in the past seasons. Season 1 built the world and paid off with Episode 19. Season 2 gave us a Rengoku and Tengen's arcs with elite fights. Season 4, the Hashira training arc, had less runtime but stronger payoff. But Season 3, it didn't evolve the formula. It felt like more Demon Slayer, but not better Demon Slayer. We're at 56 subs, and we hit 100 before the next roast drops. If you made it this far, you're already one of us. Hit that sub and let's cut these series together. Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. Mob Psycho might be the most consistent anime of the entire decade. But if you have to pick one weak link, Season 3 stands out. It leaned heavily into introspection, pulling back from the action-packed, emotionally volatile blend of Season 1 and 2. The character work was phenomenal, especially for Mob, Reagan, and Dimple specifically. But the separation of character growth from the plot tension made it feel slower. A beautiful ending, yes, but just not as electric. Classroom of the Elite Season 2. Classroom of the Elite thrives on psychological mind games, strategy, and slow burn character reveals, all set in high school where your social status and freedom depend on academic performance. Season 1 delivered sharp tension and intrigue. Season 3 brought back that edge, but Season 2, it dropped the ball. The animation dipped hard and pacing rushed critical development. Key scenes from the light novel were skipped or glossed over. Some episodes were even outsourced, leaving fans confused and disappointed. What should have felt like a cerebral chess match ended up as a Cliff Notes version of the real story. Some scenes were so rushed, it felt like the show was actually trying to beat the light novel to its ending. Kaguya-sama, Season 1. Yes, it's amazing, but compared to its sequels, Season 1 is the least polished of the formula. It leaned harder on comedy and mind games, while Season 2 and 3 expanded the emotional depth and gave more love to the supporting cast. Later seasons evolved into full-blown romantic dramas with real weight. Season 1 was clever, but the series hadn't become the masterpiece it would go into. Food Wars Season 5. And now one that hurts, because the drop-off was so obvious. Food Wars started as a grounded underdog story about Yukihiro Soma, a passionate chef competing in an elite culinary school where cooking battles determine everything. Early seasons were sharp, character-driven, and even taught real culinary techniques. But Season 5, it went off the deep end. The plot introduced gangster chefs with absurd backstories, food reactions that turned into literal explosions, and cooking powers were treated like magic systems. At some point, I stopped learning about cooking and started learning about chakra control. The main cast was sidelined and the final tournament arc felt hollow and rushed. What began as a cooking anime turned into a parody of itself, and Season 5 is where it officially lost its flavor. This was the hardest to pick. Attack on Titan, Season 2. But stacked against the rest, Season 2 is the least rewatchable in my opinion. Yes, the Reiner and Bertolt reveal is iconic. Yes, the betrayal arc hits hard, but it was also the shortest season, with the least forward momentum. Season 1 gave us the world building and terror. Season 3 brought political upheaval and Levi's god tier moments. The final season delivered carnage and closure. Season 2, great, but overshadowed. Still an amazing season, just the least amazing in a lineup this stacked. Every great anime has its weakest link, but a weak season doesn't mean the show isn't worth finishing. If you want to know which anime fans actually gave up on, check out my video on the most dropped anime on my anime list, right here. So, did I get your favorite show's worst season right? Or horribly wrong? Let me know what you'd change in the comment.